If I could have your attention here in the Media Center, we will go ahead and start pre-race media availability here at Darlington Raceway for tomorrow's Sports Clip Haircuts Help a Hero 200 at Darlington and the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And we're joined by the winner at Road America in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, Jeremy Clements, driver of the number 51 RepairableVehicles.com Chevrolet. And Jeremy, big win at Road America. You're back home here in South Carolina. How has this week been for you? It's had to have been special.
Incredible. It's flew by. First of all, can't believe we're already at Darlington, but it's just been something I'll never forget. So it was the best day of my life, and then the week, like I said, flew by. So many people have came up and congratulated me, and still in shock, kind of. So it must be real.
It is real. I can confirm that. We'll go ahead and open the floor for questions. If you have questions, please raise your hand. We'll get a wireless microphone to you. We'll start here with Kenny and then go to Bob.
Kenny Bruce with NASCAR.com. Jeremy, what do you make of everything that's been said about it this week? I mean, you've had people that have been like ecstatic that a team like yours could win, and others obviously are like, well, where did these guys come from? Did they deserve to win? All that. What's been your take on everything that's happened since then?
Well, I appreciate everybody that's come up and tweeted me and Facebooked and Instagrammed, everything, messaged me. I've been trying to get back to everybody, but I don't know, if you look at the past Road America results, we've always kind of had some speed there. We finished 6th in 2014 and was really faster last year, and I don't know. It's just there in Mid-Ohio, I look at like the tracks that we can run really good or possibly have a win. The road courses kind of are a little bit better for a driver and team like me with, low budget, but we still are able to put good brakes and good transmission on the car and try to run up front. So it'll be a lot harder this weekend to get that. Everybody's like, you going to go to Darlington and win? I'm like, ooh, that's a different ball game, boys, right there. So top 10 would be a victory for us. Last year we finished 8th here, and I was ecstatic with that. So if we can do that again, that would be amazing.
We'll go next to Bob, and then we'll go to the young lady in the back there.
Bob Hucker, ESPN. A little extra money when you win, and being in the top 12 in the final points, I assume will be a little extra money too. What will you guys buy a new car? Like, have you already figured out how you're going to spend it?
Yeah, I mean, we're always honestly putting the money we get towards the cars every year, and every year I feel like we kind of step up our game a little bit, but the money, I have no idea what we even got. I think it comes in today, actually. So to be honest, I don't know the exact figure. It's kind of hard to find it, but I figured out what we would kind of get. But we got a bonus check from RepairableVehicles.com, and we gave all the guys a bonus, a pit crew bonus, and honestly just putting it towards getting ready for these flange fit cars, the composite body, because it costs a lot of money to change all that over. So we did get 2 new cars from RCR, that are new to us. So running one next week, and just trying to improve our equipment, honestly. That's what we're always trying to do, really.
Amy Henderson, frontstretch.com. First of all, congratulations on the big win for you and your team last week. How important is it to the sport as a whole for small teams to succeed in the national divisions?
I couldn't see it. There you are. I was like, where's she at in the box up there? But can you repeat your question one more time? Because I was like, where are you? And I couldn't focus.
Sure. How important do you feel it is to the sport as a whole for the small teams to succeed in the national divisions?
I think it's really important. I feel like, it's good for NASCAR. It's good for small teams to look and be like, wow, if they can do it, maybe we can. So I think it's great. We're a family team. I know everybody knows that, blah, blah, blah. But my dad's the owner, and I'm the driver, and, it's just very small. And I think people and teams are looking at that thinking, well, if they can do it, maybe we can. And I think it's got to be good. And I think people that watched the race enjoyed it and thought a small dog won a big race. So I think it's awesome.
Caleb?
Caleb Whistler, KickingTheTires.net. How do you approach the playoffs now? Because after your win at Road America, you had no chance to get in, but now you do. How are you going to approach these next couple races and the playoffs?
Yeah, we're trying to beef it up for sure. We're looking at those first three, especially, obviously, because those are the ones we got to try to advance the next round. I remember watching last year, Eric Jones had some difficulty and, wrecked at Kentucky first race and about missed the next round, but he got in. And all I know is we're going to try to bring the best possible equipment we can and run the best we can and try to have no trouble, because that's going to be our key to success. And just kind of hope that some of those other guys have trouble, honestly, because some of those races would be hard to outrun, Elliott, Sadler, and guys like that are in top-notch equipment. So we're going to try not to have trouble, and that's going to be our key.
Go to Mark, then to Mike.
Hey, it's Mark Hazelton with the Morning News over in Florence. Jeremy, there's a school of thought out there that, with the rules that are going to further limit the Cup guys next year from running in these Xfinity and truck races, that without as much star power, that's somehow going to hurt the series in one way or another. I'm just curious what your thoughts are on that.
I don't know. I don't see how. I mean, I'm not being biased here, but if I'm a fan watching the Xfinity series or the truck series, I'm not really wanting to watch Cup guy dominate. That's just my opinion, though. But I think watching the races, Road America was a spectacular race, even without me even winning and all that. I mean, I thought the race was good. And then, like Iowa, when Ryan Preece won, we need more stories like that. We need more opportunities for guys like myself instead of top name drivers in Cup getting the big rides and winning every weekend. I don't know that's not that exciting to me. I don't blame the Cup guys. I would do it too, but I'm just saying, like, give us a chance. I mean, who wants to watch that, honestly? So I say, yeah, I'm glad they're limiting it. And I say if you're a Cup guy, the problem is they're in top dollar equipment. And it's like, well, it's good for you to race them. You see, it makes you better. I'm like, well, half the time they're so much faster. It doesn't make me better when they just fly by me. So I don't know what I'm learning from that. But I say if you're a Cup driver, you drive for a non-affiliated Cup team, and that would make it way more fair.
Mike?
Mike Neff from FrontStretch.com. Jeremy, you obviously gained some notoriety by winning one of these races, and that hopefully brings you some opportunities from the sponsorship side of things. Being a smaller family team, should you get an influx of income here, what do you feel would be your most studious use of that kind of money? Do you feel like you would be better off upgrading cars, upgrading engines? Where is it that you would most apply a boost of income?
All the above, everything. I mean, like this weekend, or from last weekend with the bonus check, we're going to use it to buy all the tires this weekend. So we got stickers, and that's a big thing. I mean, none of the big teams think about that, but we do. Even having stickers a lot of the times is a big deal for us. Like last week, we only practiced on one set of tires. We try to save what we could so we wouldn't have to, spend $15,000 on tires, because that eats up a lot of the purse, and the purse is what we race off of. But yeah, all the above. Like I said, more cars, newer cars, because the problem is we're racing cars that are really old. Like the newest car I have is the car we're racing this weekend, and it's from 2013. And then, like I said, the car we raced last week is from '08. So it's just a lot of old stuff, a lot of old chassis, and we need to upgrade it. Every time we had gotten a car before, it'd always step up our game. And just be able to buy, different springs, different shocks, different parts for the car that's what we got to do. And Clements Racing they're going to up our engine program with more money to, buy new parts. Like the engine we just ran had literally 3 races on it. And yeah, and then they're like, hey, how much damage did you do that engine on the burnout? And when I did the burnout and on the front stretch, I thought I need to be easy with this thing, because I'm probably going to have to race it like next week. And actually we are racing it next week at Richmond. So I hope it holds together, but we have to do this stuff to stretch our dollar. It's not something I want to do. It's not something what my team wants to do, but to be here and stay here, we have to.
We're going to come over here to your right to Carolyn.
Hey, Jeremy, Carolyn Mano, NBCSports.com. Congratulations on all your recent success.
Thank you.
You mentioned the expectations that have been placed on you, being from around the area, and of course your big win that people are saying, oh man, you should go out and win at Darlington, but this is a different animal. Can you explain what you mean by that? Is it an equipment issue? Is it a skill issue of tackling a track that's as difficult as this?
Well, come on, it's not a skill issue. I'm one of the best out here. I'm just kidding. No, I love Darlington first and foremost. It's one of my favorite tracks. It is a very difficult track, but no, what I mean by that is the equipment we have at these tracks that are bigger, like mile tracks, where the cars really got to have a lot of speed built into them. The driver's kind of handicapped by the speed of the car. So here, though, you can make up for it. You can conserve your tires and drive the track different. And here at Atlanta, places like that, you can really make up for it. But like, just for instance, like a Charlotte or a Kentucky, the cars have just got to have that speed built into them. And you really can't do much to make up for that. So you got a 15th, 20th place car, you might get 13th out of it or 12th, but that's just where you're going to be. But no, with our equipment, unfortunately, winning this race is one of those deals where it might be a little impossible. I mean, to beat guys like Harvick, they'd have to have some trouble.
Do we have additional questions for Jeremy? Go back here to Kenny.
Yeah, Jeremy, you were talking about the age of your cars. Have you ever raced a new car? You ever had that opportunity?
No, definitely not. I mean, seriously, everything we buy is used. It's used parts, used cars. That's just how we can get by. I mean, it's just crazy. That's why it's unbelievable to me that when I came up on the pack of guys that I passed for the lead at first before I pitted, the 22, the 42, the 62, really strong cars, I was like, how am I so much faster than these guys? I don't get it. And it was just unreal to me because it shouldn't be that way. But yeah, no new car for me ever.
So I'm guessing days like Sunday is why you continue to do this.
Heck yeah, man. And people are like, why do you keep doing this over the years? And it's like, well, I mean, we're not terrible. I mean, we run respectable a lot of times. I mean, we're not a starting park team. We're not just here to be here. And we've had a lot of good finishes here and there, and I always knew we could do it if given the right opportunity, the right day, everything works out. And when we were able to prove, some of those critics wrong. So that's why we do it. Obviously, before I raced in Xfinity, I won a lot of dirt races, a lot of stuff leading up to this. But you guys got to remember, I drive for my family team, and I don't think it's the most fairest, but that's life. That doesn't matter. I'm just saying. It's not like I've been driving for Joe Gibbs Racing for 255 starts. So I'm blessed to be able to do this, and I want to keep it going as long as I can. Obviously, the driving for a big team has been my goal from day one, and I hope some of the guys maybe will take notice and try to give me a chance somehow if you could get the money lined up right.
We'll go here in the middle to Scott and then back over to Mike.
Yes, Jeremy. Scott Chansey with the Morning News in Florence. Stage racing in your series, do you like it?
I like it a lot. I feel like it gives us opportunities that we didn't have before, and some of these races just don't go green forever. So I think it creates excitement too. But honestly, coming from a small team standpoint, the big guys, it kind of separates us even more. Most weeks we're not in the top 10 in the stages, so those guys get way more points, and it makes it more difficult. But I do like the stages. I think NASCAR did a great job with that, and I remember hearing about it, and I was like, what does that even mean? So I applaud NASCAR for the idea of stage racing.
Mike Neff once again. Jeremy, this might be a bit of an odd question, but you may remember back to Carl Long getting declared with an illegal engine at Charlotte because it wasn't that they cheated it up, it was just old. You're talking about these older parts on your car. Was there a concern at Elkhart Lake, not that you had cheated something up, but maybe something was so worn out that it might have been out of spec?
No, not really. I didn't even have a chance to think about it. But no, my dad is scared to death of getting fined. I mean, even after the last pit stop every week. He's like, make sure the lug nuts are tight, even if it's a slow stop. So they're scared to death of getting fined because we don't need to pay a fine. So no, they pay pretty close attention. And honestly, I complain a lot about other teams are bending the rules a lot, which that's what they do. They need to, and I feel like we give up a lot in that area because we do not, because we don't want the fine.
Hunter?
Hunter Thomas with thefourthturn.com. Obviously, you want to race for a bigger team, but how much fun is it racing with your family on this level? And then also, what is it about Darlington that really you love about the track?
Some weeks it's discouraging for sure. Nice hat, by the way. And then 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago now, we wrecked at Mid-Ohio and killed the front of that car, and that's one of the weeks it's terrible because I'm like, I don't even know how we're going to get that car fixed, and the backup road course car it's an even bigger piece of junk, so I didn't want to have to run it, but those are the weeks it's frustrating, but it's been very satisfying this week, and I really appreciate the opportunity my dad and my Uncle Glenn gives me to keep doing this. The way they run it, we're able to come out ahead every year and, not go in the hole. That's why we're able to keep doing this. But what was your other question? I'm so sorry. I got on a tangent there.
Darlington. What is special about Darlington for you?
Oh, Darlington. Well, first of all, I live in Spartanburg, 2.5 hours away. I come here as a kid and would sit in the stands and watch the race. And just my first time I came here to race was so special. This place is unlike anything we raced at, first of all, and it's a tough track. It's a fun track, and I go through that during the race. One lap I'm like, I love this place, and the next lap I'm like, oh, I hate this place. But most of the time I love it. But it's just special to me because I live in this state, and I came here as a kid watching it, and this track has been here since the 50s or 60s, I think the 50s. So just so much history here.
Well, Jeremy, congratulations again on the win last week, and good luck this week.
Thank you guys so much. I'm glad I made it. I didn't even know where the media center was.
Well, you know it now. Don't be a stranger. If I could have your attention here in the media center, we'll continue on with today's NASCAR Xfinity Series media availability with none other than Elliott Sadler, driver number 1. Armour Vienna Sausage 150th Anniversary Chevrolet for Junior Motorsports. Elliott is the defending winner of this race. Pretty darn good here. I mean, you got a win and runner-up in your last 4 races here. I mean, you're pretty good. What is it about this racetrack that really suits your driving style?
That's pretty loud, isn't it? Sorry. But before I answer any questions, I do want to send my thoughts and prayers out to everybody in Houston. We have some friends down there, and we've been getting some video and direct contact from them, and what they're going through is, nobody should have to go through that kind of devastation. And we've been blown away, my wife and I, by everybody's generosity and from people donating so much money and time. And one of our sponsors, Oscar Blues, is canning water and sending it down. What J.J. Watt, I just saw a little while ago, has already reached $14 million. He just did, and that's absolutely amazing. And my wife and I decided on our way down here that we were going to take my portion of the winnings from this weekend and donate it to the flood relief victims in Houston. It's just, that's so much a bigger scale of what America's all about and Americans all about. The videos of people helping each other are just second to none. So I just wanted to send my thoughts and prayers at the end. We have a lot of race fans in the Texas area. We have a lot of race fans, I think, from the Louisiana side as well that are all helping each other. And just some of the videos I've seen have been absolutely amazing. It makes you proud to be American. So I wanted to talk about that first. And my wife and I are blown away by what we've seen, and we want to get on board with that. And even at my kids' school, the third graders went to their teacher to want to figure out how to do something they'd seen so much on TV. So it's neat to see Americans really rallying around each other. So that's all for a greater good. Now to address your question, I love this place. It's one of my favorite racetracks. the last 4 or 5 years in a row here, we've had a legitimate shot of winning or running in the top 2 or 3. We've had some wrecks, last lap wrecks and stuff like that. That's maybe has cost us a little bit, but to get the win here last year in my Dale Jarrett throwback paint scheme was special. My boss, Dale Jr., was going through a lot at that time. That's when we had just found out about what he was fighting through, and it was neat to come down here and kind of win one for the Gipper, right? Win one for the boss man. So we had a lot of emotion last year winning this race, and it's a special place to me. It's a place my dad brought me to as a kid, as a fan, and now be able to come back years later as a Darlington winner on Throwback Weekend makes it very special.
Outstanding. Let's go ahead and open the floor for questions. If you have a question for Elliott, please raise your hand. We'll get a wireless mic to you. We'll start here with Mike and here work our way around.
Mike Hember, USA Today. Do you remember racing here for the first time and how driving the track was different from what you might have anticipated?
You know what's funny about this place? I got 2 stories, if you bear with me. The first time I ever came here in 1996, as a driver, Dale Jarrett was testing here for the Winston Million. Remember in 96, he was running for the Winston Million, and I showed up here with the Gary Bechtel and Diamond Ridge, and had never been to this place, on the inside before, and definitely in a race car. So Dale actually, I went up to him and asked him about suggestions, help, anything. And instead of talking to me about it, he actually put me in his car and drove me around and showed me different places of lifting, where you need to be at on the track. Of course, I thought we were too close to the wall. He scared me to death. But he definitely took time that day to kind of show me how things work. And to add to the next story of that, when I came back here to practice, so there's other cars on the track with me now, right, practicing. I just saw Mark Martin riding through the garage here, and it made me think of a memory. I was coming in the front straightaway, which used to be the back straightaway, coming in the back straightaway into turn 3, and Mark was in front of me, and I thought he blew a tire. He goes into turn 3 and goes straight to the wall, and I'm like, whoa, man, what are you doing way up there? And even after I tested here, it's different seeing a car in front of you getting that close. And I'm like, man, I don't know if I can race on this place. It's too narrow. But I think we qualified 6th the first time I'd ever been here, and we were actually passing Mark for the lead when we had a return oil line come loose. So it's just one of the places that my driving style fits, and I really like it. It was the track, I'll be honest with you, I was the most scared of before I came, but it's probably one of the top 2 or 3 favorite tracks we race on today, and it's weird how it changed for me coming the first time. It is a neat racetrack, and I know it's a lot of history here, but it's such a fun track to drive. It's not like any other track that we race on the circuit. Makes it very unique and makes it fun.
We have additional questions for Elliott. Go here to Mike.
Hey, Elliott. Mark Hazelton with the Morning News over in Florence. I just wanted to revisit just a little bit the participation change for next year. They're further limiting the Cup guys in your series and the Truck Series. There's a school of thought that says that without those guys, that star power, it's going to hurt the Xfinity Series. I was just curious what your thoughts are on that.
Be honest with you, I hadn't read any of it, so I don't know what the participation rules are for next year. So I'm not sure. I can't do 3 or 4 things at a time. I want to focus on what we have going on this year. But I grew up in the day and age. We had 18 to 20 Cup guys in a race at a time. And I understand that point of view because I'm a marketing guy, so I understand that big names bring people to the seats, but I also understand that Xfinity puts a lot behind our program, and they want their guys winning races, competing for championships and things like that as well. So I see both sides of it. I'm not here to debate what's better and what's not because that's not my cup of tea. I like racing against those guys because if you feel like you outrun them, like me here racing Denny Hamlin last year, I think this is probably one of his best tracks. If you can beat Denny Hamlin at this place, you feel like you've done something really well. But I do think it gets confusing to fans sometimes later on in the season, like at Homestead in a championship race where it's a winner-take-all, that it needs to be the Xfinity regular guys doing it, in my opinion.
Go to the back to Caleb and then over to Chris.
Caleb Whistler, kickingthetires.net. How has your approach changed, just accumulating as many stage points from the beginning of the season?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
How has your approach changed to accumulating as many stage points as possible from the beginning of the season?
Well, we definitely have changed our strategy a lot this year because of the stage race, and we've gotten ourselves in a pretty good position in points. We've already locked into the playoffs. We feel really good about our chances of being the regular season champion, where we get the 15 bonus points. So we felt like we've done a really good job as a team. Now it's our job to get some more bonus points for the playoffs. I mean, that's what we need. We're kind of getting beat in that right now. That means we need to win some more stages, take some chances, be aggressive, or, put ourselves in position to win a race. And, I mean, that's our goal moving forward. We feel really good about the 3 tracks we got left before the playoffs start. So we're going to try to get all the points and stuff we can moving forward.
We'll go to Chris and then to Mike.
Hey, Mr. Allison, how you doing, sir? Hey, this is a Cale Yarborough throwback, but don't come up here and swing at me while I'm sitting up here. All right, just. All right, okay. Hey, that's fair.
That's pretty awesome. Chris Knight
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's the man.
ChrisKnightCatchfence.com. Next week we go to the composite bodies at Richmond, and I was just wondering if you've had a chance to look at them, what you think of them, and what you think it'll do for the series.
I have looked at them. We have no feedback at the time on them, like aero wise or balance wise. We have not had one personally at Junior Motorsports. We have not had one on the track yet. So, Chris, I'm not dodging your question. We really don't know, and it's a pretty good unknown. I feel like we're going to Indy again, right? Where it's a lot of unknowns on how these cars are going to race, not by themselves, but contact and rubbing and some of the things that we go and put our cars through on a pace of a race. There's not supposed to be much difference in the bodies from what we have now, so hopefully the balance and stuff will be close to the same. I know our guys at Junior Motorsports have worked their butts off the last couple of months. We had to build 9 brand new race cars to occur to Richmond because Boss Man's running too, so we had to build 9 brand new ones, and that's a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of money to get these cars ready, but my guys seem to like the way they go together, and we're going to gather all the information we can next week at Richmond because, we got Dover and Phoenix both in the playoff, and they both run those types of bodies, so we'll see what happens. But I'm interested to see how they race each other and how they affect each other on the track. Not qualifying runs by yourself, but in a racing pack.
Go next to Mike.
Mike Neff from FrontStretch.com. Elliott, you've been to the top of the sport, ran in Cup, and you have now kind of settled in the Xfinity Series. How does that work for you? If you found that happy place there, is it less pressure from being at the Cup Series, or is this just where you feel like your talents are the best?
I love it. I'm very competitive. Excuse me, I'm very competitive. I want to compete. Ask any of the buddies that saw me at the softball field last night playing in the tournament. It's all about winning and competing, whether I'm playing golf or racing or any of the things that I like to do, pick up basketball games, even coaching my kids' 7-year-old coach pitch team. It's all about competing, and I have found a home at a place that we're very competitive. We're going to have a chance to run up front each and every week. And it's still pressure to me. I put my own pressure on myself, but, Dale Jr. wants me to win a championship in his car. So does Mr. Hendrick. I mean, they all want us to run good and have a chance to win a championship. So the pressure's there. But I definitely love what I'm doing. I don't want to I'm not, looking to do anything else. It's definitely home to me. I get to spend a lot of time at home with my wife and kids, which means a lot to me as well. So I definitely have found my niche, and I love it. This is where I want to hang my helmet up when I'm done, is right where I'm at right now. Yes, sir.
Well, Elliott, good luck this weekend, and good luck going forward in the playoffs as well.
All right. Thanks, guys.